can't thank you all enough for taking the time to watch this Norwex video. My name is Christy Taylor, and it's my honor to tell you about this product that I have fallen in love with. So come with me. I'm going to talk as fast as I can, tell you as much as I can, as quick as I can, because your time is important to me. And I think it's important for us to get the name of the product straight. My kids are forever calling it Norwex. It's not Norwex, it is Norwex. And you'll find their name on every tag that you see. And Norwex stands for Norwegian Experience, because Norwex started in Norway, and we're actually celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. So let me tell you what got me started with Norwex. It was my mom and my sister. Every time I went to visit them at their house, they had gotten a new Norwex product, and they were showing it to me and telling me about it, and I just couldn't believe they had spent that much money on a different cleaning product. It blew my mind because I've been known to be a coupon clipping, chemical loving kind of gal. I grew up using chemicals and I didn't see anything wrong with them, and now all of a sudden my mom and sister are changing things and doing things differently. So I was curious, but not enough to go buy the product. So then the next time I would come and the next time I would come, they would have something new, and I kept trying things out. And what did the trick for me was we were there for 1 week one time, and I have 3 boys. 5, 2, and 1, and we were having all these meals, and I used the same washcloth on them. It's a baby washcloth. Let me show you. I took one of the baby washcloths and wiped them off after each meal. And I used it, I would rinse it out and hang it to dry. And I used it the entire week I was there. We didn't have to wash it because it didn't smell. And that blew my mind. That was a big seller for me. How many of you hate smelling a soured washcloth or a rag? I hated that. I have a sensitive nose. So that was a huge seller. Like I said, that was important to me, and I loved that about it. And that triggered in my mind that there truly was something different about Norwex. So from there, I saved up some money, and I made a big purchase in Norwex, and I began to try to use the product, but I still hadn't been to a party. I hadn't seen it demonstrated. I had a lot of questions, and I wasn't quite sure how to use everything correctly. So I still used it in a limited way. But after a while, I asked more questions, and I learned as I went, and I began to use it into the full extent that it could be used. I fell in love with Norwex because I found out that it actually cleaned better than all the chemicals I was used to cleaning. And I actually cleaned houses through high school and college. I had narrowed down to my favorite cleaners. You know, as I got into couponing, I knew which cleaners I could get the cheapest, that worked the best, and I loved them. But I will say this, that as I cleaned more and more, I got to the point that I would wear a mask because the fumes were so strong. Again, how many of you can relate to that? You've been cleaning in a room and the fumes overwhelmed you. Well, that's how I felt with all the cleaners I was used to. I switched to Norwex, and right away I was thrilled with the difference. It was cleaning just as well, if not better, and I didn't have to wear a mask anymore. I could breathe clean air. So that was another thing that sold me on Norwex. Not only could I use it for a week without washing it, but I also found that it was working better than all the other chemicals I had been using. And again, I want to relate to you that I was very skeptical. I looked at Norwex and decided, okay, they made this great Enviro Cloth, which is what I'm holding. And they made this great cloth that does the cleaning really well. And then I flipped through this catalog and thought, so they made a bunch of other stuff just to make money on us. And I have been very excited to see that they have proven me wrong every time. Every time I get a new product and try it out, I fall in love with it. And I realize this is not in the catalog just to make money off of us. This is because it is a superior product, that it's chemical free, and that it's cleaning so easily with just water. I love, love, love Norwex. Again, I'm hoping to communicate some of these things at the beginning, make them very clear. I don't have to have your money. I sell Norwex because I love it, and I can't stop talking about it. Just ask my poor husband. I remember getting started early on, and people would say, you should find a Norwex friend, somebody who doesn't mind listening to you talk about it all the time. And so until I find somebody else, my poor husband has to listen to me talk about Norwex all the time. And we had friends over this week, every single night. Somehow Norwex would come into the conversation, and I would start talking about it, and I would say, stop me now, I'll talk all night about it because I really do love it. So please, again, just follow me along. I want to talk quickly. I want to tell you as much as I can, as quickly as I can. But I wanted to give you that foundation, my reasons behind selling Norwex and what it's done for me. So let me jump into explaining what the Enviro Cloth is. This is the best seller for Norwex. This is what most people purchase at their first party because they want to get started with the clean way of getting rid of chemicals in your home. So again, that's what Norwex wants to do. They want to reduce the use of chemicals in your home and also with your skincare. And I'll talk about that later. This Enviro Cloth is made of microfiber, and many of you are already familiar with microfiber, I'm sure. To be microfiber, at a minimum, it has to be as fine or as thin as one strand of hair split 6 times. And a lot of microfiber on the market is split even 100 times. But Norwex goes above and beyond that, and their fibers are as thin as 1/200th of a strand of hair. If this cloth right here were to unravel, it would stretch from Canada to Mexico. In fact, in 1 square inch, if 1 square inch became unraveled, it would be the length of 3 football fields. So what that means is you've got a very tightly woven fabric. And inside that microfiber, they have woven micro silver. Now the silver is very important, and again, that's what sets Norwex apart. And I don't know, normally at a party, if I were there with you, I'd be asking you questions about silver, but again, I'm just gonna relate information to you as I can over the video. Silver is something that I started learning more and more about years ago, before I was introduced to Norwex. We use it in the form of colloidal silver. I don't know if any of you realize that that's an all-natural antibiotic. So this has been great for things like if the kids have ear infections, or I know I've had mastitis. We've got, people can use it for eye drops. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for the uses of colloidal silver. But silver goes back. I know I've heard stories all the way back to the times of Egyptians and how they used it in surgeries, putting silver plates in. And like I said, I could go on and on. I thought it was very curious that I found this box of Band-Aids in my own closet and didn't even realize it was there. And I don't know if you can see it, but these are Band-Aids with silver in them. And let me tell you what it says. There's silver in the pad. It says silver natural antibacterial. Laboratory testing showed that silver in the dressing reduced bacterial growth for 24 hours. And it lists staph, E. coli, in other words I can't even pronounce. So silver's been around for a long time, and it has great use. What it can do is it inhibits the growth of bacteria, the things that make your washcloth smell. You know how I talked about that baby washcloth and how that I used it for a whole week and it didn't smell. And that's because of the Norwex, the silver that's woven inside the cloth. So let me kind of explain again what's happening. You've got this great microfiber product with the silver inside. The microfiber is pulling and lifting the dirt off the surface. And as you take it to the sink and rinse it out, you're going to knock out all that dirt and let it fall down the sink. But then the silver goes to work over the next 24 hours or however long it takes to dry. And the silver, again, is inhibiting that growth of bacteria and the mold and all those lists of things that we could go into that would normally make your washcloth smell or cause you to throw it in the wash. So what I want to do is transition and take you into the kitchen. I want to show you this cloth at work. So follow me there. We'll be there in just a second. Okay, let me tell you about how we do what I call the chicken test. And this has become popular in the Norwex world. Some people use it, some people don't. But I think this is key to explaining some of how the Enviro Cloth works and the silver goes to work inside it. So again, as we mentioned, the microfiber is very thick and intense in this cloth, 1/200th of a hair. So as you look at the microfiber, it actually almost looks like a claw. And when it's been magnified in a picture, you're wiping it on the surface, it's pulling and lifting the dirt, the proteins, whatever's been left on your surface. And the microfiber is so thick that it can actually hold up to 7 times its weight in water. Let me explain a little bit of the best way to use your microfiber, because I think it can be confusing to some people. I think it's very important to remember that you want to start with cold water. And again, that's against our grain of thinking. But you use cold water because it helps keep those fibers tight and working. And then after you pull and lift the dirt off your surface, you wash your counter or wherever you're working, you're going to take it back to the sink. You're going to run it under very hot water. What that does is it causes the fibers to swell. So as the fibers swell, they start to release their grip and hold on the dirt and grime and whatever was in your cloth. So that washes it down the sink. And from there, you're gonna hang it to dry. And like we said, we talked about the silver inside. With its self-purification properties, it's gonna go to work right away to suffocate and cause that bacteria to not be able to breathe or reproduce itself. So let me get it wet. I'm gonna use the cold water like I mentioned. And we're gonna do our chicken test. Sometimes it even takes a while to get it to absorb all of the water. The microfiber is so thick. And again, that's part of why I love Norwex. It is a superior product. I love how it cleans. It's so quick and so easy. What I have here are some protein tests. If I work at a camp and we have a kitchen here, and if we had somebody come in, let's say from DHEC, and test our surfaces in our kitchen, they would use something like this. It's a protein swab. Protein is actually smaller than bacteria. So if you know protein is present, then bacteria is as well. Bacteria doesn't always show up until maybe 24 hours later. So it's more important that we test for the protein. So I know all of us have worked in the kitchen. We've gotten maybe blood or something from raw meat or raw chicken or egg on our countertop. Well, those, like this chicken especially, it's gonna have protein in it. So I'm just gonna do a simple test to show you. If it turns purple, that shows that there is protein on this surface. So let's do that one first. Get my gross piece of chicken and rub it on the counter. Again, we've all worked with this, we've all had it happen. We don't rub it on our counter, but we've had it fall or land on the countertop. And I'm gonna take my swab. It's important to get it wet, works faster that way. We're gonna see how long it takes it to turn purple. Just shaking it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm holding it up there. Can you see it turning purple already? Just proving there was protein left on the surface. Okay, so normally what would you do? Probably grab your Lysol wipe or something, and we'll talk about that later. What you're gonna wanna do is just remember, you can always fold your Enviro cloth, and you can end up with 8 clean surfaces that way. You can just keep on folding and getting a new clean surface to work with. So I'm trying to see where I had it, but we're gonna come here and wipe off. I think it was all in the same spot. We're gonna wipe off where the chicken was, and I'm gonna do another test to see, did I remove the protein? And I'll be honest that it's possible maybe some other microfiber or some other kitchen cloth could do the same thing and lift the protein. And again, I will go into that more. We're gonna shake it up. If it stays green, that's very good. We don't want any traces of protein. We want it to stay green. And this one, of course, is still very purple. And then this is our green one. So let me talk about cross-contamination really quickly. I think that's important. One of the wonderful things about the microfiber is as it's going on the surface, it's lifting and pulling the dirt into the surface, into the cloth, and it's gripping it and holding it there. So you're actually having less or zero cross-contamination. Normally I would take this cloth to the sink, like I said, under hot water, and I would rub it against itself to help it knock out any of the raw chicken that was left inside. But I just want to show you, what if I didn't wash it all out? What would happen if some of it was still left on the surface? Am I going to cross-contaminate and take that, whatever, that protein or whatever, and spread it somewhere else? So I just rubbed my chicken on the cloth. I hope you were watching. And let's see what happens if I rub that on my counter. Okay, it's right here. I'm going to remember. I'm taking my test that showed no protein. I want to see if I left any of that protein behind. I want to know if I'm cross-contaminating. And where this might make more sense in your mind is in the bathroom. I know for some people you would never ever clean your toilet and then go and clean your countertop, your sink, something like that. But what we're trying to tell you with Norwex is that if you were to clean your toilet and you were to go and take your washcloth, and like I said, I'd run it under very, very hot water, and I rub, knock out as much as I can take that cloth and I can go to another surface in my home and be safe cleaning with it that way. And I'm trying to prove that to you now, without even rinsing it out. the microfiber was holding on to that chicken. It was holding it inside, even though I rubbed it all over the outside of it and wiped my surface with that chicken side. It did not spread it. It kept it trapped inside the microfiber. So that's the beauty of the intense microfiber of Norwex. It is still green. I'm going to give it maybe one more minute and I'm going to come back and do one more thing with it. But again, I know that's hard for a lot of us to process, and if you can't handle it, that's why they make the Enviro Cloth available in multiple colors. So you can keep one in your kitchen, one in your bathroom, whatever your mind can handle. And like I said, it's been a journey for me. I've always used all these chemicals. It's been hard for me to transition to a different way of thinking, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the transition. Like I said, I love that there aren't the chemicals and the fumes. Like I mentioned, a Lysol wipe. I've done a lot of study on chemicals because I never thought there was anything really wrong with them. But as I've studied chemicals, I've learned a lot more about disinfecting versus sanitizing. And I know with a Lysol wipe, what I'm doing is I'm rubbing and spreading a chemical all over my surface. If you read the back of your Lysol wipes, they tell you you can't eat off of that surface. You have to come back again and wipe off the chemical residue that you left behind. So you're adding extra steps for yourself as well. One other thing I learned is that if you're going to disinfect a surface, let's say I had raw meat, I had blood on my surface, if I needed to disinfect that, disinfecting takes 10 minutes. So that means for 10 minutes, my surface has to stay wet with a disinfectant. So you take a Lysol wipe, you come and wipe your counter off, it's probably going to dry before those 10 minutes are up, so you've got to wet it again. I don't know about you, but I don't really have time to stand around for 10 minutes with a timer watching to make sure that it stayed wet long enough, using multiple Lysol wipes just to make sure that it was disinfected. Then come behind and wipe it clean again to get all those chemicals off, because we can't ingest those. I love the fact that I take my Norwex, I can wipe off the blood, the chicken, anything, rinse it off, let it air dry, and I can roll out cookie dough with my boys and get going with my life instead of standing around waiting for something to be disinfected. Now before my time runs out on this, I want to do one more quick thing. I'm going to just swipe it on my chicken because I want to show you this isn't a fake test. I didn't just come with a purple test and a green tester with me, okay? So real quick swipe. It's actually already turning purple, I can see. I just want to prove that if there had been any protein left on this surface, that it would show up in my, my test here. Now I don't know if you can start to barely see, maybe not on the camera. There's a tiny bit of purple down there at the bottom, and the longer this sits, the more purple it's going to turn. Okay, I'm just trying to prove again, if there had been chicken left on the surface that I had rubbed it all over, it would have shown up. It is safe. You will not cross-contaminate, but I do insist if you've wiped up something like that, you go to the sink right away and you rinse it out with very hot water. And for some of you, your peace of mind, then leave the cloth there to rest and let it have its 24 hours to work at that. Now that we're in the kitchen, it's important that I tell you about another favorite product that I have. This is the kitchen cloth. It's very similar to the Enviro Cloth. Let me stretch it out and show you. By the way, I took a break and washed this out, so don't be concerned about what chicken I'm touching. You can see the difference in size. This is the kitchen cloth, and it has a different weave. What I would say, it's more like a spread out corduroy, and the purpose in that is to give a little bit more break in some of the intense microfiber to allow for all the oils and grease that you're going to come across in your kitchen. Oil and grease can clog up in your microfiber and cause it to not be able to lift and pull things off the surface as well. So this cloth is designed more for your kitchen to be around the grease and oil. Both cloths work great in your kitchen. It just might take a little more rubbing power to get some of the grease out of your Enviro cloth. So the kitchen cloth is a great alternative. The other reason I love it, now I told you I love coupons, I love saving money, I want to save you money wherever I can. So I'm going to let you know it's a little bit smaller, but the price is the best thing. $9.99 for the kitchen cloth versus $16.49 for the Enviro cloth. So if you're going to use it in your kitchen, grab a kitchen cloth. They've got multiple colors. They also have the hand towel. That was another really big seller for me when I went to visit my mom, because sometimes when I'm in the kitchen, I will be in there all day, it seems like, making meals, and I hate going over to dry my hands and they're not getting dry because my cloth is, my hand towel is so wet. It's sopping wet, and then it's really smelly. So again, because it can hold up to 7 times its weight in water, I can dry and dry and dry and keep drying my hands, and they're actually getting dry. Now it will get heavy with the water, but it still is drying my hands off. So I love this. This is a kitchen hand towel, but I actually use it in our bathroom as well, just because the colors match and it works great. I love knowing that my boys are washing their hands in there and probably not doing the best job, but then taking them over to this towel, this microfiber, and knocking off more dirt and grime and whatever was left over in the bathroom. So that's another thing I love about that. I don't know if any of you all saw my Facebook post about cleaning my oven, but I was thrilled. 20 minutes with these two things, and it was amazing. It looked like a brand new oven. And I've had people tell me, oh, well, I have a self-clean oven, and so do I. But let me just say, when I've used a self-clean oven before, the fumes, again, were overwhelming to me, and I had to leave the house. So while my kids played all around me for 20 minutes, I cleaned my oven, and like I said, it looks brand new. So this is something I highly recommend. Haven't tried it on our grill yet, but it is a wonderful cleaner. I hardly used any of it. I don't know, maybe like 15 sprays, and it wasn't like I had a ton to do. So if your kitchen's been needing a cleaning for maybe 5 years, you might use a little more. But I love, love, love that product. The other thing is the cleaning paste, and I've had this for 6, maybe 5 months. And it's probably really hard to tell, but I've hardly used any of it. But it is great if you have a glass stovetop and use this speary sponge with it. Not to be confused with the Spear-Net for the oven, but this speary sponge, and you'll have to test yours just to make sure. I know there are some surfaces that might scratch, but it's worked really well on my glass stovetop. You can probably see it behind me. A little bit of cleaning paste if something's burned over and or boiled over and burned on the surface. I've also heard of a lot of other good uses for this, for maybe even using as a cleaner in a carpet for different things. I'm drawing a blank right now, but pots and pans, it just does a great job in a lot of places, in your kitchen especially. So I have fallen in love with that. It's so quick and easy. This might be my newest favorite thing. It is so hard. Like I said, I was so skeptical when I started with Norwex. I just thought it was a big gimmick to get our money because they had a great Enviro cloth. But again and again and again, they've proved me wrong, and I'm so glad. Every product I try, I love it. And this funny looking thing is a great kitchen washcloth. Now you could wash dishes with this, but it's not recommended because, again, of all the grease and things that might get trapped in it. This is amazing. You just wad it up and it works really well. This will replace your nasty SOS pad or something like that. It is wonderful for eggs and cheese, broccoli and cheese, casseroles, loaf pans, any of those really hard to clean things, casserole kind of pans that you use. It gets it all out, and you've got these chunks of stuff left in your washcloth, and it's real easy just to knock it out. And then you can just hang it over your faucet or somewhere to dry. It dries very quickly, and because it's got such big holes, it's not trapping all the things that would cause the odors, the bacteria, the fungi, mold, or whatever that would normally come in a washcloth that's sitting wet and drying overnight. So I actually tried it for a week and a half. I didn't wash it, and it still didn't smell. I was amazed. So I love that about it. My other favorite thing about it is if you have a dishwasher, you can just drape it over the top rack in your dishwasher and wash it that way. It doesn't have the silver in it like these two cloths do. Now these two cloths have to be washed in a special way, and I'll go into that later, but this one does not. So you can just throw it in with whatever dish detergent you use, but we recommend the Norwex dish detergent, which I don't have to show you, but you can find it in your catalog. So something I've done is I've recycled an old pump bottle. I didn't bring my, my kitchen soap over here, but what I've done is anytime you want to use foam soap, you can make your own by filling the bottle with either 1/3 or 1/4 soap and the rest water. So I took the kitchen dish detergent and I filled it up. So what this does is if I have to wash 1 or 2 dishes or 3, I can just use maybe 2 or 3 pumps and fill up the sink, and it does great at washing the dishes. But I also love it because I know it's safe on my Norwex. So like I said, I'm using those baby washcloths on my kids all week long. So I live it, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom with my kids. My cloths get a lot of use. I mean, every meal, we are here using them, cleaning up after every meal. So I have found that they can go a little longer before they start to smell. if I maybe bi-weekly use a pump of this right before I go to bed or something, wash it out real well by hand. So this is great for washing any of your Norwex products by hand. I think it's just one of the easiest ways to do it. Another way though is to take some of their Ultra Power Plus, stick it in a salt shaker, and you can just shake 1 or 2 shakes or just use a few pinches. But their Ultra Power Plus detergent is also great for hand washing any of your cloths, and that will help you go a little bit longer before you throw them in the wash machine. So just a few tips like that. I also love the Veggie fruit scrub. And again, I've only been at this for 6 months at this point, so I haven't tried every Norwex product. I haven't had every kitchen item, but I'm telling you about the ones I've tried. And I just used this tonight. We had sweet potatoes. It's a real quick way just to wash potatoes off, or carrots. I love it. I don't have to peel carrots. I just scrub, scrub, scrub. It's real rough. So it makes it really easy just to get all the dirt and the grime off carrots, or make an apple very shiny, get all the waxy part off, but get the real shine that's below. So another thing I love, and again, just remember, this one doesn't have silver. Certain cloths do and others don't. So you just look through your catalog and make sure if you want it to work as if it has the silver in it, where it can go longer and longer before it's washed. Make sure you get one that says anti-bac next to it. Now I'm going to tell you about maybe the second most popular product through Norwex, and that is the window or polishing cloth. This is great for getting a lint-free, streak-free look to your windows, to mirrors, to if you want to polish things up in your house, different surfaces for your granite or refrigerator, stainless steel, things like that. It is a wonderful product for that. I want to show you, it's too bad it's not daytime. You could see better all the fingerprints that my boys get all over these windows, but I will wipe a little something on it. Nobody wants to clean up greasy messes, but I'm going to put a little bit of this petroleum jelly on. We'll get an N for Norwex here. But I just want to show you how the Enviro Cloth is just going to come. If you were to take Windex, I promise it would take a lot longer. And sometimes at parties we'll have one person using the Windex and one person using the Enviro Cloth. Because my boys touch this window a lot, it's pretty heavily soiled most of the time. So the quickest way for me to clean it is to wet my Enviro Cloth and wring it out a lot so it's not dripping, which again, because it holds so much water, it's not going to do that very much. But I would just come, and I actually start from top to bottom and just wipe it all down really fast normally. But I'm going to take it, use my different surfaces, and just get some of that petroleum jelly off. So again, I would just do a real quick wiping down, getting it wet. Your polishing cloth you do not wet. If your windows don't get a lot of fingerprints, you're just doing your basic maintenance, you're just going to use a spray bottle of water, get a little bit of water on the surface, but keep your polishing cloth dry. So again, you can fold it. I tend to just wad it up. That's just the way I do it. But you're just going to come behind and simply dry it. And again, unfortunately, it's not going to show you the best results because it's nighttime. But if you were here during the day, you would see the beautiful lint-free, streak-free product that is the end of the polishing window cloth. Again, so this is the second most popular thing. I'm going to transition back to the table where I'm going to tell you about the rest of my products that I love as fast as I can. As you can see, I have a lot of things here to talk about. So I'm going to talk quickly and run through a lot of these items. If I miss something, you can always find it in your catalog and learn more about it. I wanted to tell you about the third most popular thing, and that is the dust mitt. The dust mitt is anti-bac as well, and it's the thick concentrated microfiber. So this is the adult dust mitt, and this is the child-sized dust mitt. And again, because I'm a cheapo coupon lover, I looked at the catalog and saw that this one was cheaper, and I decided that, oh, it'll probably fit on my hand, so I'll buy the cheaper one, save a few dollars, and it works great. But this one covers more surface a little bit faster. So now that I have both, I love that I'll start dusting and then my boys start saying, where's the green one? Where's the green one? I want to use it, and they're fighting over who gets to help me. That's a good problem to have. These are so fun to use, and I love that I can just pick up picture frames and I'm working really quickly, and you want to kind of rub them together if you have to, or you can rub it against some other microfiber, and you're going to get the electrostatic charges going. And what that does is, instead of going to a surface and kind of pushing some of the dust around, there is this static charge going inside the microfiber, and it's pulling and lifting the dust into the glove, into the mitt, And so it's not just pushing it around to fall back and resettle on your surfaces. It's pulling it into the mitt and trapping it there. And what that does is it allows you to go even longer before you have to dust again. I have seen this firsthand, and I've had many people who have bought the product say, I don't have to dust as often, and I love that. I love that because I hate dusting. I put it off as long as possible, and this has helped me go even longer. So I love that about the dust mitt. You will find the dust mitt, the polishing cloth, and the Enviro Cloth at the back of your book. They're sold in a set. So if you flip back there later, you'll see some of the sets. They've knocked off a few dollars as they group certain items together that are the most popular. You'll also find the polishing cloth and Enviro Cloth as a set as well. So check those out. I did want to tell you, I mentioned I have learned a lot about chemicals, and I still have a lot to learn. It's just hours and hours of research and studying because, like I said, I've always used them. I didn't know there was anything wrong with them, and I'm trying to understand. I don't always get, well, I almost never get all of the scientific terminology. But again, I'm doing my best to research and learn from other consultants, from other people online, different good resources that are helping me understand. One of the things that I've learned is that, I believe it's OSHA, that has said they found that 1/3 of the different household, substances used in the fragrance industry are toxic. And you'll see that word toxic over and over and over again. I have to refer to some of my notes through some of this because, like I said, the science part gets a little over my head. But 1/3 of the substances used in the fragrance industry are toxic. So that's going on in a lot of our homes right now. I talked about disinfecting in the kitchen, how that with a Lysol wipe, it's going to take 10 minutes to disinfect. Sanitizing is 30 seconds quick cleanup, but when you handle maybe changing a baby's diaper or you've got blood somewhere, then that's when the disinfectant is key. And I even had a few nursing friends of mine say, yes, we're having problems at the hospital because we're having to keep all of this equipment wet for 10 minutes to disinfect it, and it's ruining the equipment. The beautiful thing is they actually have been using the Enviro Cloth over in Norway in the hospitals there. And I know of certain cruise ships that have also switched over to the Norwex cloth. So it's saving their equipment in those hospitals. I would love to get it in our hospitals here. We'll see, maybe in time. So according to Wikipedia, most disinfectants are also by nature potentially harmful, even toxic to humans and animals. In layman terms, chemicals are used to kill microorganisms. They work by destroying the cell wall of the microbes or interfering with the metabolism. Again, I'm reading this because it's a little over my head. What this does, it's destroying the cell, but it's also, when it's inhaled, it's destroying the cell wall in your lungs and the germs in your bathroom. So you're killing the germs in your bathroom, but you're also destroying part of your lungs. So again, there is much to be learned from the study of how chemicals are affecting us, and I have pages and pages and pages of information. I have one 4-page document, teeny tiny print, of all the different common household products that have been traced back to causing cancer. And again, I know I've even felt kind of like, well, everything causes cancer if you listen to what they say in the news. But again, I'm starting to see why some of that is true, how many of these products could be really harming us. And I want to do the best I can to get them out of my home, and Norwex has made that possible. I love that about it. Again, because they're wanting to improve your quality of life. They want to reduce the chemicals in your home. So let me tell you a little bit more about some of these other products that can help you do that. I want to show you this cloth. The only person who's going to see this cloth is a host. So let me just put a plug in there for if you're looking at some of this already and thinking there's no way I could afford the Norwex products. And again, that's how I felt. It wasn't that I can't afford it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to put my money into that. But the more time I spent around it, the more I saw how it worked, the more I fell in love with it. This is a polishing cloth that would go to a hostess. If you have a party and someone comes to your party and says, hey, I want to book a party. I want to have my friends learn about Norwex. I want them to see it, or my family. then when someone says, I'll book a party, Norwex is going to give you one of these for free. Every month, Norwex puts out different specials that they're offering just to the hostess. And sometimes it's upwards of $500 worth of product, depending on how much you sell at your party, how much your friends or family members choose to buy. You're going to get a lot of free things from Norwex, the polishing cloth, Enviro Cloth, and again, it changes monthly. But I just want to put that plug in there. If you can't afford it, if you can't afford everything you want, then consider opening your home for one night. It's simple and easy. And I promise you, I'm not going to force it on your friends. Like I said, I'm selling Norwex simply because I love it. I'm not here because I'm desperate for your money or I want to pressure any of your friends to buy this product. I think it sells itself, and I think you probably would agree with me by now. So that's our hostess polishing cloth. Again, let me just maybe jump to a department. Let's talk about the bathroom. There's a lot that goes on in the bathroom. The bathroom scrub mitt is one of my favorite things. And again, some of these things are just extra perks, extra nice things. So if you, again, want to keep your kitchen cloth separate, this is a great thing to keep in the bathroom. It's got the soft plush side of the microfiber, and it's got this scratchy side with little nylon fibers in the back. This is great for the bathtub. I know with my boys taking all these baths, it's a real quick, easy way to scrub the bathtub, the ring that gets there. I've used it on somebody else's shower curtain, a friend of mine, they didn't mind, and it was growing mold on the plastic shower curtain. It was the quickest way I've ever seen mold come off the shower curtain. So you can fit this in your toilet everywhere, and you don't have to get your hand in all the mess, so that's a really nice thing to have on hand. They have a shower gel, and let me mention the shower gel because Norwex has the body cloths. These are the colors that come in your vintage body pack. It's a pack of 3. And the body cloths, it's one of those products that I'll honestly admit I never thought I would use. And the reason is you don't use soap with it. And please don't fall out of your chair. It's been an adjustment, like I said. I have made baby steps toward getting rid of chemicals and trying the different things that Norwex claims it can do. The point behind it is that soap, well, let me say this first, that clean doesn't have a smell. And let that sink in. I think it even took me a while to think through that. Clean doesn't have a smell. But a lot of the chemical cleaners we use do have a smell. Our deodorants have chemical scents in them. Now, you might be using some products that use essential oils to scent them, but most products don't. Usually they're using some kind of chemical, your soap. And a lot of times those soaps can actually be harming your skin. They can be drying it out. I know my son has had terrible eczema. We went away for a week and I didn't bring our body cloths. We used the baby washcloths for the boys. I didn't bring these with me, and I went back to using a very popular name brand child's baby wash. And by the end of the week, my son was bleeding. He had blood on his sheets. He had been scratching his eczema, and it was all open wounds all over, bleeding. And I thought, I have learned my lesson. I've got to be very consistent with the baby cloths with him, and his eczema almost completely will go away if we are very careful to keep those soaps off his skin. So I began to try this in the shower. And again, I know for some of you, you just say, well, I could never do that, but just give it time. And what it's doing is pulling and lifting the dirt off. What soap does is it comes in and it loosens the dirt to help it fall off more quickly. But you don't need the soap to help loosen and make it fall off. You can pull it off and get it trapped into this, run it under the hot water, shake it out, clean it out, and use it. Again, I actually can use mine for a whole week or more if in between cleanings. I mentioned that foam soap dispenser. I love, love, love foam soap. That's just me. What I've taken, you can either use the dish detergent or and I haven't gone into all the care for the product, but with the microfiber and the silver, you've got to use something that is clear and free. So this is actually just some leftover Arm & Hammer I had. Clear and free detergent. Just fill it up 1/3, 1/4, and all it takes is one pump, maybe once a week or twice a week, however much you're using it, to clean it out, knock it off. This is also great for people who want to remove their makeup. It's a great way to do it. Just be warned that if you wring out the water and it's drier, it's going to exfoliate your skin. So you can very gently exfoliate your skin with this, or take it a step further and maybe just use something like baking soda after to get a little bit deeper with your exfoliating. But if you're looking for something to save you money, again, that's one of the things that Norwex wants to do. They want to reduce the chemicals in your home, but they want to save you money at the same time. And I'll be honest, I did not believe them. I thought, if I'm spending $16.49 on a cloth, I'm not saving money. But I actually the other day made up a list, a page long, of all the ways that I am now seeing that Norwex is saving me money or will save me money down the road. They also have the makeup cloth remover, and that's what I prefer. This one feels more like suede, and it says body as well. Both of them say body, but the makeup cloth remover is smaller, and it's more for sensitive skin. It doesn't exfoliate your skin. But I've used waterproof mascara and regular mascara, and it gets it all off. Now this looks terrible when I'm done with it, and just because I like it to look clean and pretty, I'll use one little pump of my soap every night, but that is not necessary. Again, you can go a week or maybe 2 before you wash these. So that was one way in which I found that Norwex was saving me money. I wasn't using a different washcloth every day. I looked at all the things that I had in my cabinet, the different things I used to remove eye makeup and my other makeup, exfoliating, all these different things that I can now use with my Norwex cloths. I don't have to buy those things anymore. All the money you can save on soap is shocking as well. Let me tell you about the blue diamond. This is important because when I made the switch to Norwex, I was taking my Enviro Cloth and I was using it all in the toilet area, but then I came behind with my Lysol toilet bowl cleaner that has bleach in it, and it made me really nervous. I was afraid I was going to get the bleach on my Enviro Cloth, which would void your warranty, number one, but it could also destroy your cloth if it came in contact with it in the silver. So the blue diamond is really important because what you can do is dilute it, and I just recycled an old Dawn bottle that I had, or you can get any other kind of bottle that squirts, but I just flip it open and I squirt a ring of this around the toilet, and I'm able to clean it in a safe way that if it comes in contact with any of my Norwex products, it is safe. And all it takes is filling this 1/7 of the way with soap and the rest water. So it's highly diluted, which means when you look at this, I know it's easy to feel like that's way overpriced. But as you're diluting it, it's going to last a lot longer. The other thing I found out, this is important to realizing this is not overpriced, because does anybody know how much toilet bowl cleaner your average toilet bowl cleaner tells you to use? And this was shocking to me. I want you to think about it for a second. It actually instructs you to use 3/4 of a cup, or 6 ounces. So do you know how many ounces are in a bottle? 24 ounces. So that means per toilet, you're supposed to use 1/4 of a bottle of Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. So I just want you to keep in mind, you're probably not saving money. Well, you're not cleaning your toilet the way you think you are, because it says, you know, it will do all these things when used as directed. If you're not using 1/4 of a bottle per toilet, then you're not using it as directed and accomplishing what you wanted to. So I could take a bottle of this for $30 and keep stretching it because I'm diluting it and just doing 1 squirt around the ring in the toilet. So I love the blue diamond. It's safe around all my stuff. It's also great for any other tough scrubbing jobs in the bathroom or even in the kitchen. But I know when we moved into our house, there was some really tough soap scum that I couldn't get off. And it just took a light stream of the diluted blue diamond to help scrub it away very quickly. They've got a descaler. If you live in an area with hard water, I've seen some showers that were yellowed by hard water, or dishwashers, and they were yellowed on the inside, and it just took 1 or 2 applications of the descaler. It's not something you have to use all the time. If you're keeping up your basic maintenance with your cleaners, then they're gonna do a great job, but you're gonna need to come behind every once in a while because of your hard water to use this. The other thing I love in the bathroom are their toothbrushes, and they actually have silver. It's hard to tell, but you can look in your catalog. Silver at the base of the bristles. You don't even have to use toothpaste, but that's just one of those things that I can't get used to yet, so I'm still using my toothpaste, but you don't have to. with a Norwex toothbrush, and the adult size comes with a refill cap that you can just pop back in. So this, you know, you go with what your dentist recommends, but most dentists do recommend you can go 6 to 12 months before replacing your toothbrush, and some of that depends on how hard you are with it. This is great. I love it for my boys. I was constantly throwing away toothbrushes because they don't always care for it the right way, and it was staying so wet and growing mold, so we'd have to toss it. But what this is doing is the silver, again, is going to work to inhibit that growth of the mold and whatever was left inside. So I'm not having mold grow on the toothbrushes anymore. Enough said. I love these. I've heard so many testimonials about people who don't get mouth sores anymore. They were getting strep continually, and then after using the toothbrush it went away. And I'm going to throw out some testimonials here and there. I just want you to remember that not everybody's going to have the same result with the same product. So maybe it will work for you, maybe you'll have the same results, but I can't guarantee that. So just keep that in mind as I throw out some different testimonials. So again, the shower gel was for those people who say, I can't get past not having soap. So if you need a little soap, this one is safe on your body cloth. But you don't have to have it. It is a great product. I love it. It's a real light scent. If you're wondered about things and how strong they are, most of their products don't have a scent at all, or it's very, very light. So that is wonderful for those of you who are sensitive to that. They have a great hand cream in their Timeless line, the Timeless Relaxation Gel. I've passed this around to some of my friends. It's great for people who have headaches often. It's a relaxer and it helps to get rid of the headaches. I love their day and night cream. This is the Naturally Timeless line. It's for people who are 35 and older. The other product, the Marine Organics, is the blue line for those who are younger. And this Timeless line, they're actually taking advantage of an apple they found in Sweden that had a shelf life of like 6 months. And it didn't taste good, but they noticed that it had that preserving quality, and they were able to transfer that into this cream. And I love how it makes my skin feel. I have very, very dry skin, and I actually get eczema spots in the winter because it's so dry. And this has helped clear that up this winter, and I haven't had to use any other products to help with that. My mom has a great testimonial. She has had dry skin as long as she can remember. She's been to several dermatologists. She's tried everything she's ever been told to try. And regardless of what she tries, every morning she would wake up with dry patches all over her face again. I told her about this product and she was very skeptical. Even though she loves Norwex, she didn't want to disappoint me that it probably wasn't going to work for her. Well, she woke up the next morning and she came up and told me right away, she said, I can't believe this is the first thing that's ever worked on my skin, and it has kept it moisturized so I don't have those dry patches. Her skin was so bad. She said one time she was talking to a friend, her face literally cracked open and started bleeding down the side. It was just very dried out. Nothing was working, nothing was helping. So I'm thrilled to be able to share these stories. Maybe you know someone who's got skin problems as well, and this would really help them. The Marine Organics line is taking advantage of, how do I explain it? Talking about the algae that lives at the bottom of the ocean, and it's able to hold hundreds of pounds of pressure in extreme temperatures. And again, they're taking those qualities, it's that self-sustaining property that the algae has, and they're putting it into this product to help with your skin. So these samples, I usually send ahead to my hostess. The samples are $2, and it's going to give you some instructions on how to use it. I know, again, these look very expensive in the catalog, so if you're hesitant, you just want to know how it feels on your skin, I highly recommend getting a sample. If your hostess runs out, I'll get one mailed to you, but hopefully it can help you as well as somebody else. So let me just keep talking as fast as I can. Thank you for listening and sitting still so long. Another thing that I have found in my study of chemicals is there are so many chemicals found in dryer sheets. So Norwex makes available 2 different types of dryer balls. The green ones come in a set of 2, and the wool ones come in a set of 3. The green ones aren't quite as organic because of the materials they're made from, but these are 100% wool, completely organic, and I know that means more to some people than others. But what the dryer balls do is, as they're in the dryer, they're hitting and knocking your clothes around. They're trying to knock the water out faster, and many people have taken the time to time their dryer and realize that it's saving them time, it's saving them money with getting their laundry done. It's winter time. If you're not using a dryer sheet, you're going to have a little bit more trouble with static. So the green balls actually allow you to put a little bit of water inside the hole, And the neat thing about the wool dryer balls is that you can drop a few drops of essential oils, because for some people you miss that smell of your dryer sheets, and this allows you to have a little bit of scent in your laundry when it is finished. The dryer sheets though, I have, a page, and I think there are maybe 8 or 9 different very harmful chemicals that are in dryer sheets. And again, it's one of those things that so many people love, but we haven't done much time to research and find out what's wrong with it. And I realize that in one sitting, one Norwex party, I may not change your mind completely about chemicals, but I do want to do my best to inform you, because again, that's our mission at Norwex, is to help reduce them in your home. Sometimes it just takes getting that thought process going and realizing, you know, with some of these chemicals in the dryer sheets, many of them cause central nervous system disorders. Some of them are carcinogenic, linked to pancreatic cancer. One of the products is a narcotic in the dryer sheets, and it's on the EPA's hazardous waste list. It's irritating to the eyes and respiratory tract. Many of them would say danger, harmful if inhaled, extremely flammable, etc. So you get the idea. It might be time for you and your family to make the switch to the dryer balls. Just throwing a few in extra here. The new thing they have out is the Peppermint foaming hand wash, and I love the smell of this. It smells great. I love having that in our bathroom sink, safe for my family to use. The carpet stain buster, I will say the reason the cap is on this is I haven't even had to try to use it yet. That is because the Enviro Cloth is so handy to have around. 2 different times within about a month apart, we had a can of pop spilled on a whitish color carpet. One was orange pop, one was Dr. Pepper. And my mother-in-law ran for the paper towels, and I said, stop, don't use the paper towels. Again, because we're gonna save money by not using something we have to throw away. I grabbed my Enviro Cloth and I run over and I let it soak up as much as I can. I went and rinsed it out, and I came back and just kind of rubbed around on the carpet, and you could never tell it was there. I've had multiple stains on the carpet, and I've just taken my Enviro Cloth and water and gotten them out. Now this would be great if you have a pet, things that are sinking a lot deeper into the carpet with pet odors, or maybe if someone's been sick with a stomach virus or something like that. This is an enzyme product, and I can't spend much more time talking about the enzyme products. And the quickest way I can maybe explain it is it's sort of mimicking your digestive tract, and it's going in and trying to reduce things down. And in layman's terms, it's almost as if everything is eating itself until it turns it into air. And so taking the enzyme product of the carpet stain buster is what you're doing, is you're putting something on your carpet that is gonna work mimicking, again, the digestive tract, and it's going in and eating up anything in its path that is harmful, and it's going to remove it and just sort of dissolve into thin air. That's probably not the best explanation, but that's my limited understanding of how it works. As opposed to a normal carpet cleaner is going to go in and spray a residue on your carpet that over time will probably actually attract more dust and dirt to it. So it's a great replacement for you. The mattress cleaner, I have read so many testimonials on this. I challenge you, you just go to the computer, rehearse in your mind a little bit of information about dust mites, and you'll be very quickly grossed out. So just remember that they are multiplying very quickly in your mattress, so much so that I've done some reading that says either every 7 to 10 years your mattress can double its weight because of the dust mites and what your dust and what they're feeding on. What this does is it goes in and it kills their food so that they can't continue to multiply and live. It's a wonderful product for your pillows, for your mattresses, and again, it stretches a long way. It doesn't take, it's just 1 spray per pillow, and it walks you through how many to use for each place. I really need to make sure I tell you about the mop. It is probably one of my absolute most favorite things. It is one of the most expensive, but it's worth it. So again, let me throw in the plug. If you look at that mop and say, I want that mop, consider hosting, because it's going to help you get a percentage off and help you save some money. As a host, you'll get a shopping spree based on how much is spent at your party. One of the nice things about the mop is it's adjustable. So the idea is to get this round little part, which is great for if it falls over on your wall, it's not going to scratch your wall. But you want this part somewhere around near your nose, so you're not stressing out your back as much. And you're going to put your different mop pads on. We've got, let me show you here. This yellow one is, again, it's that same microfiber. This is your dry mop pad, and I actually didn't even wash it last time I used it. What I used was my rubber brush. This is amazing for your dust mitt and for the mop pads, and I just went outside. Some people do it in their trash can, but I find that it stirs up a lot of dust. I go outside and I just brush off all the dirt, and I can keep reusing it before I have to wash it as often. So again, it's saving me time and money, not having to wash as many things as often. This is your wet mop pad. This one is anti-back. So I joke that, you know, so now you could literally eat off your floor. But the funny part is my kids really do. I mean, when you have a 1-year-old and Cheerios are everywhere, they're just picking them up and eating. This makes me feel so much better about it, knowing that the floor has been cleaned with the anti-back products from Norwex. So the Velcro is actually not on this part, it is on your mop. So these are safe to throw in with any of your laundry. Well, again, you want to wash their stuff with things that don't pill. So like your sheets are a great thing to throw any of your microfiber in with. Another mop pad I have is the one for tile. It's got these little nylon fibers that you can feel. And this is great for getting into the grout and getting some of the dirt cleaned there. I know a lot of other mop products don't reach that part of the floor. So love that on it. You can also attach one of your mop pads. You can buy the Mop Brackets, and then you can actually either wrap a window cloth around it and you just poke it in the little holes, or wrap an Enviro Cloth around it. It's got a locking mechanism. You can lock it and you can take it to hard to reach places, windows, whatever you have that's up high. I even have a skylight. So I can get up on a chair and get to my skylight to clean it off that way. So the brackets are nice for sticking on and using for extra things like that. Or you can actually take the top of it off and get this handy dandy Enviro Wand that I love this thing. It actually bends and you can fit it around your fan blades. This is great for cleaning chandeliers, but also the blades of your fan. It comes along, and again, it's not just knocking all the dirt onto the floor, but it's attracting a lot of that dirt into here because of the electrostatic charge of the microfiber. But this also attaches to your mop bracket. So I went to my mom's house because she has a fan that's very hard to reach. And I was able to kind of lean over and reach over and clean one of her fans that she hadn't been able to get to in a long time. So this is another one of those extra fun things that you can get in your little toolbox of Norwex products. The Ultra Power Plus is a great detergent, and you're going to get a lot more out of it than what it tells you. And again, if you're interested, I can give you a handout that tells you how many loads you can get per bag, but it's more than what the bag states. For an HE front loader, you actually only have to use about 1 teaspoon of the powder. And for those of you with a top loader, it might take 1 tablespoon. And on the back, again, it instructs you to use a lot more, but you can get by with less to get a lot more done. If you do have really hard water, consider the magnet ball. It's going to attract I believe the calcium deposits and minerals that can get stuck in here, get stuck to the magnet and help you. You can actually reduce your detergent in half if you're using the magnet ball in your dishwasher or your washing machine, and save some money there. Again, there's so many products. I love the Optic Scarf. This is great for women to clip on a purse. It's great to take for your e-readers, your iPhones, for your glasses, and it's safe on your anti-glare products. So any of your glasses that are anti-glare, it's really nice to have on hand. I love the car cloth. Some people have even said, you know, after you wash your car, you're gonna dry it with something else, but this is sort of like a polishing cloth for the car. And it's gonna come behind and actually give it a look as if you've waxed the car. So if any of you guys have a husband who loves to take care of his car, you might be interested in getting this for him. I think the last thing I'll tell you about is the travel cloth. They come in a pack of four different colors, and these are miniature Enviro cloths. And I put one of these in my purse and in my diaper bag, and it's amazing what you'll find on a Burger King table or a high chair anywhere else. But these are great to have on hand. They're great to share with somebody else. Give them the gift of Norwex. Let them know how much you love it, and let them try it out for themselves. I would love to follow up with everybody. I wish I could be there talking to all of you. But please visit me at my website. Please come call me, email me if you have any questions. I know there's a lot to take in here. There probably are a lot of questions, but I want to help you. I want to help you learn how to love Norwex the way I do. I want you to experience it. So please consider if there would be something that would help your family reduce the chemicals in your home and in your skincare. Thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it.